We were muted. Can you hear us now? You're muted. Oh, there you are. Do you have a sore
Hello?
throat? Is that Dave Zastro?
Yeah, this is Dave. Can you hear me?
We hear you. You can hear us.
Yep,
Happy?
I'm on too.
Okay, and there's Wendy. Did I not give you? You want one that's in correct order?
Yeah,
There are page numbers. It's
when you
fine.
have 280 and you get like 4 different stacks infused, it's kind of hard to figure out how to do
Did
that.
I have stapled them in weeks?
My item, maybe.
Does everybody's mic work? I checked. And me, this is a thing too.
Don't touch it.
Move it
Oh.
with this. Doesn't always work, but this is very good.
I'm gonna give him the turn it sideways feel.
What's the other thing?
Turn it sideways. You gotta turn it sideways.
They seem like this sideways nonsense.
Did we bust that election?
You recall, we gave it.
You said we did?
Or don't do this.
You said we had IT here, or we had the mic people here, and they said,
You were there.
don't do this, do this, so it captures more of your sound.
Benjamin.
Okay, that's right.
Sometimes. Thank you. Did everyone see that? We all signed the resolution for
I think Eric's good.
the election, so I just need everybody's signature for that.
Everyone here for the public hearing? Ready?
Yes,
Yeah. All right, we'll call to order the city council public hearing of April 1st. And this is. I guess we're going to the roll call.
sure. Mayor Smith is absent. Deborah Adams,
Here.
Lee Collins,
Here.
Aaron Hanson,
Here.
Casey Kinsman,
Here.
Mike Mickelson,
Here.
Wendy Rainey,
Here,
and Dave Zastro.
Here.
That is all of city council.
And this public hearing is for ordinance 1238. An ordinance of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase and sell agreement with the Native Village VX for lots 19 through 25, block 6, original town site. There's any comments on this agenda item? Or for this public hearing?
Gives me an extra 3 minutes, right? They don't have to use it later. David Allison, 203 Winton Ridge. I don't have any problem with the sale. I'm glad the Native Village stepped up and offered multi times what the property was appraised at, and that's a good deal for the city. 15 years is a long time, but I guess my comment is regarding, I've never been very fond of our deeds of trust sales, because we've had several properties that the project has not gone through, and by the time the deed of trust came up, property was worth way more than that anyway, and it's just an investment farm essentially. But I see in this agreement, you've got a per year thing, which maybe is a good way to solve that. So I was glad to see that in there, that you're requiring eventually some type of development, because the old deeds of trust was just a flat fee, just did not work, which I think is one of the reasons we went back to a lease sale thing. But you know, now people they want to buy the land, they want to own it, they need the collateral for whatever they've got going next. So anyway, thanks for the work you do, and thank the Native Village VX for stepping up in this project, and I certainly hope that they can get it done well with within their 15-year time frame. Hopefully that can get pushed up. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment for the ordinance 1238?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did the papers at the same time.
I did the chair with my, I did the mic.
That's the chairful.
What?
Because you told me.
You wanna read that?
Recess, I guess,
So
for
you
10
think
minutes.
somebody else might want to get about it.
Recess. Yep. You hand me that one back, sorry, that's that black one right there, sorry. So it's the provision they put in there for if they turned it done with the time frame. Alright, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna have another recess for public hearing for ordinance 1238. And there. Last chance for any public comment regarding the. I guess I'll just read the ordinance of the Council of City of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase and sell agreement with the Native Village DX for lots 19 through 25, lot 6, original town site. Any comments regarding that? All right, they will adjourn the public hearing. I will call to order the regular city council meeting of April 1st, 2026. Then please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get a roll call.
Mayor Smith is absent. Deborah Adams here. Lee Collins,
Here.
Aaron Hanson,
Here.
Casey Kinsman,
Here.
Mike Mickelson,
Here.
Wendy Rainey,
Here.
Dave Zastro.
Here.
All of city council's present.
We'll go on to the approval of the regular agenda. In agreement with that, anything you'd like to move around? Okay. We will go into disclosures and conflicts of interest, ex parte communication. One, at this point, or maybe at a separate point, go into, I know you set out correspondence about this, does this warrant maybe some more conversation, or I can work with Mayor Smith on that.
Okay.
And we just may want an opportunity for any other council members to ask questions about it if they have any, but I just want to confirm you guys, yes, go.
Well, conflict of interest. I know we've brought this up in the past. I don't believe it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
But regarding, agenda item 12 ordinance. 1238. Saying we're going to need to go to the act, I am a tribal member.
Yes. Thank you for disclosing that, and I don't see any conflict in that.
Yeah. Vice Chair, just, this is a potential conflict for me in regard to, agenda item 13, the land sale of, lot 2, block 7 on the Northville, is that I am currently employed by Sound Economic Development District as an operator of the kelp processing equipment. That's something that in their proposal would be taking place at the facility.
You wanna look it over and kind of go
Yeah.
through each step if you feel like it, that's
It's a little,
important. So what it is with the conflict of interest code that I sent to you all, that there are some steps to walk through and it's a little more onerous than we've thought in the past, so it's worth at least looking at each of the criteria for substantial financial interest. It's 3.10050 in the definitions, C 1 through 4. Even on the first one, whether the financial interest is a substantial part of the consideration. So
but it's the
Yes.
consideration and
the
their voting.
consideration is a land sale,
Right,
and does his employment with that company, is that a substantial
so
part?
you're saying that you would be, I'm just because we have this new information, I'm gonna walk through. it. So you're saying the company you work for would utilize this facility? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I believe so, at least in my current capacity, yeah.
Oh, no, then I wouldn't necessarily. Consider that a conflict.
it's a tough one, I think. It's a hard one to work through. Um. You know, will he be employed regardless of whether they buy this lot? Probably. So is that considered a substantial part of the consideration? I don't know. Is the financial interest significantly impacted by the official action? So is Lee going to choose to vote yes?
Yeah.
Because it will give him more income down the road? Well, he's already got the job and they don't own this thing, so. I don't know.
That's the only one I'm probably hung up on is obviously we all have our own reasons and bias, and that is. Might be.
So probably better to err on the side of conflicting it and not having him,
For that one, I say not to vote on that.
okay? Sounds good.
And then, of course, I can make that decision, and if you as council decide something different, you have the opportunity now to overturn that ruling. So. If there's any interest in doing that, let me know. Then generally during that time, we'll just have you take a seat,
Yes,
just in the general body.
when we get to that item.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you for letting me work through our new information. That was great.
Practice really too.
Yes,
thank you for educating us.
yeah. Thank you for this information, Susan. Again, I'll work with Mayor Smith, and I think we'll have maybe a broader conversation about that,
Sounds
as
good,
we all have time to digest it.
sounds good.
Okay, all right, we go to communication by petitions from visitors. Yes, speakers, we have none. And then audience comments regarding agenda items, so these are agenda items that are in the packet today. I will say, please come forward with what you have. We also, if you've been in other meetings, I think there's been a pretty favorable. Anyways, just come forward. Let's hear what you have to say. This will be great. 3 minutes, please. State your name and your home address.
Thank you. I prepared some written things to keep me on track for the 3 minutes. And so that I don't deviate and talk about Little League all night long. Good evening, Mayor and council members. For the record, my name is Dave Reggiani. I'm here on behalf of Cordova Little League. First, I want to thank you for bringing forward the motion to waive field use and snack shack fees for the 2026 season. We appreciate your willingness to consider this request and to support youth programs in our community. Cordova Little League is somewhat unique among the user groups. For decades, we have served as a strong community partner with the city. Our volunteers not only operate the program, but have also invested significantly in development, improvement, and ongoing maintenance of the city's ball fields. Conservatively, that investment is in the range of $300,000 to $400,000 in volunteer time, materials, and capital improvements. That long-standing community partnership has been built on a shared goal, providing a safe, accessible, and affordable place for kids and families to participate in youth sports. Waiving these fees for the 2026 season helps maintain that accessibility and allows us to keep registration costs manageable for families. I would also note that time is of the essence. We've already delayed our opening for a player registration while waiting for clarity on the city's fee structure, and further delays will begin to impact our ability to organize teams, schedule practices, and deliver a full season for the kids. We also want to acknowledge that this request is not intended to set a permanent precedent. We understand the concerns raised about long-term policy and consistency. That's why we've submitted a draft memorandum of understanding and are committed to work collaboratively with the city to further define and strengthen this community partnership, clearly outlining roles, responsibilities, and expectations for both sides. In that context, waiving fees for this season is a reasonable temporary step while that work is being completed. We value our partnership with the city of Cordova, and we look forward to continuing that collaboration in a way that benefits the entire community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Speak. Publicly? No.
Make it clear that you have a different hat.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
For the record. 600 Elder Street, speaking as a citizen of Cordova, not as a city councilman. I would like to speak, I wrote a letter, that didn't make it into this packet, but it is fitting for agenda item 15, and I would like to read it in support of agenda item 15. So to the city of Cordova, I was deeply saddened by the comments received by city staff at the end of the last regular council meeting regarding the costs associated with youth activities on city properties. It was stated that if Ice Storm swim team doesn't have to pay additional fees, why can't I get to the pool whenever I want with my friends? This comparison is absurd, and it's hard to fathom how you can use that as an argument. In my opinion, this is the difference. Ice Storm Swim has been a self-sustained group of volunteers who operates the facilities early, prior to pre-use, and provide a service for the youth of our community. We need to promote these volunteer-based programs to work for the betterment of Cordova. Youth activities have a tremendous benefit for our community, many of which are self-sustaining thanks to the volunteers to make this possible. I do recognize that there are costs that come from the use of the Parks and Rec facilities, but volunteer allows staff to facilitate instead of using the numbers of dedicated hours employees it requires to run the programs themselves. To provide context, I'm going to continue to use the pool as an example. The vital benefit of these programs is the people who recently moved here may not know the history. The pool was built using bank school funds along with state funding under the school construction program. Cordova had several drownings in a short period of time, and these tragedies drove the community collaboration to construct. The initiative was to ensure that the youth know how to swim, a skill of unmeasurable importance with the amount of water activities in our backyard. We are surrounded by lakes, rivers, and ocean. In the ocean, what is the value of a life saved? Aside from the Ice Storm swim team, aside from this, the Ice Storm swim team gives structures and discipline to the youth who participate. They must be ready early in the morning, which requires self-drive and motivation. For young kids, which is an invaluable foundation for the success as they grow. More so, it has exercise their morning routine, which improves focus and has been proven to be more effective than prescribed antidepressants. When you participate in these sports, it creates a sense of achievement built work ethic, something that can't be cheated. Your results are a direct result of the effort you put into it. Social skills are built in team events, relationships are made that may never happen otherwise. Camaraderie grows as you learn respect for your peers and adults. That if we were gonna, there's more, but if we were going to sacrifice costs and subsidize things on a city level, what better way than to provide life-changing opportunities for youth alongside ensuring that our youth are better swimmers? We are showing our support for the organizations that graciously volunteer their time to provide services for the youth of Cordova when others fail to do so.
Thank you. And yeah, this letter will be in the next packet.
Yes. Yes, it
Thank you.
My name is Kate Williams, 414 Third Street, and I'm here tonight in strong support of the Prince William Sound Economic Development District's proposal for community processing and cold storage facility on lot 2, block 7. I've spent time really reading through the council packet and looking carefully at both proposals side by side, and honestly, this feels like a very clear choice. The Prince William Sound Economic Development District proposal is thoughtful, thorough, and grounded in years of real work. There has already been a serious feasibility study. The Native Village of Eac contributed funding, the Copper River Prince William Sound Marketing Association contributed funding, and a number of letters of support just keeps going. Direct marketers, shellfish growers, CDFU, the Chugach Regional Resources Commission, and others. That level of support matters. It says this is not just one group's project. This is something the waterfront community has been actively asking for. I also appreciate that the Planning and Zoning Commission sent forward 2 viable uses for the lot. They did their job by showing council there are options. But tonight, I hope council looks beyond whether both proposals could work and asks which one creates the greatest long-term benefit for Cordova. For me, that answer is the shared cold storage facility. My husband and son both fish here in Cordova, and we direct marketed our own Copper River salmon in the past for a few years. We had enough success that we seriously considered getting back into it in 2025. So last year, we applied and were accepted into the Sale Catalyst Program, a national seafood business accelerator run by the local catch network. We spent months learning alongside 15 other seafood businesses from around the country about what makes direct marketing actually succeed. One lesson was impossible to miss. The businesses that thrive have access to cold storage, either through community infrastructure or through very expensive private investment. For us, the lack of that infrastructure in Cordova was the roadblock that stopped us from moving forward. That is why this proposal feels so important. This is exactly the kind of investment that helps independent fishermen, shellfish growers, mariculture businesses, and other small producers take smart risks and build something of their own. The Prince William Sound Economic Development District also showed that other Alaska communities either already have this kind of facility or are building toward it. So we are not guessing here. We have models to learn from. But what excites me most is that Cordova has the chance to lead. We have always been an innovative fishing community. This is the kind of decision that keeps us as the place other fishing towns look to when they want to see what leadership and vision look like. I hope that City Council listens to the many voices that came together around this proposal and chooses the option that gives the broadest benefit to fishermen, small businesses, and the future of our waterfront. Please support the Economic Development District's proposal. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Kelsey Hayden, 164 Marina Road. I'm here in my capacity as the Director of Cordova District Fishermen United, speaking on agenda item 13. We've got a letter in the packet, but I'd like to reiterate our strong support for the Prince William Sound Economic Development District's shared seafood processing proposal. I hope to have my board chair and other fishermen here to speak directly to the need for this project from a fishing perspective. Ironically, they've all traveled to Seward because several of them are longlining and the longlining season opened up last week. They had to go to Seward early to go get bait and ice, which aren't available locally and exactly is what this project intends to provide. Because they're sourcing bait and ice from other ports, they're also delivering fish to those ports, which means Cordova is losing out on raw fish tax revenue, sales tax, local spending, etc. The benefits would be reflected not only in raw fish tax revenue, but across the broader local economy. This project drives revenue far beyond sales and property tax. It circulates through nearly every business in Cordova, from fuel and gear to groceries and services. A small shift in landings back to Cordova creates a ripple effect of dollars across the entire community. As identified in the phase 1 analysis, there's already a demand for at least 100,000 pounds of annual processing capacity, along with a clear need for equipment space. The demand is there, we just need the dirt to build it on. As you'll hear from other partners, this facility would support a wide range of small businesses and even processors. By strategically sharing the space, we can maximize utilization across seasons and industries, from salmon to flower bulbs, oysters to kelp, amplifying the project's economic impact beyond fish tax alone. This concept has gone through many iterations over the more than 20 years that CDFU has been championing it, among other organizations like the Marketing Association, the NPE. We've seen this model succeed in communities like Valdez, Petersburg, Sitka. We're long overdue for this in town. While a grant-funded project like this does come with some unknowns, what we do know is that Cordovans find a way to get projects done that create a lasting impact. we're sitting in a facility that costs $15 million, that we paid $3 million for, that now generates $75,000 a year in direct revenue and significant secondary revenue. So Cordovans know how to get things done. Fishing is the backbone of this town and a through line across the entire economy. This project builds on that foundation, generating not just city tax revenue, but more local income that circulates through all the businesses and homes. Supports the overall vitality of the community and keeps our working waterfront alive. Hope to support the project. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brian Wildrick on 302 Adams Avenue.
I'm Rowan Waldrick, also here to Adams Avenue.
This is McKenna. We're supporting the baseball MOU and we appreciate your time and effort in considering all of the impacts that youth sports have. And Aaron, thank you for your comments. Rowan is also a swimmer and he would be and will be when the time comes. So I'll keep it short and sweet and I appreciate you guys and everything you're doing to try to come together with something. We support the MOU and the waiving of the fees for the season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Williams, 414 3rd Street, Cordova. I'm here on behalf of the Copper River Prince William Sound Marketing Association. I've been on that board for about 8.5 years. In support of the purchase of Lot 2, Block 7 of the Northville Development Park for the proposed community processing cold storage facility. This project has been in development for several years and represents a cooperation across the community fishermen, mariculture growers, tribal leaders, economic development partners, all working toward a shared goal. At its core, this facility addresses a very real barrier in Cordova. Small producers simply don't have access to affordable processing space, cold storage, or commercial kitchen facilities. That limits opportunities in some cases, prevents businesses from getting started at all. This project is also fundamentally tied to our identity as a commercial fishing and seafood processing working waterfront. It depends on proximity to harvest, offload, ice, cold storage to maintain the quality our seafood is known for. Shoreline and nearshore industrial land in Cordova is extremely limited and opportunities like this area are rare. This is the kind of infrastructure that belongs in Cordova. About 5 years ago, the Marketing Association contributed $20,000 toward the first feasibility study, along with the, I think many others, but with the Economic Development Board that, raised the money to do that first feasibility study. Just want to point out also that our executive director for the Marketing Association submitted a letter of support in the last packet, and I believe it might be in this one too. And then wanted to reiterate the use of these facilities around other communities in Alaska. In Petersburg, just last month or earlier this month, well, I guess it's a new month, just last month, the Petersburg Borough Assembly voted unanimously to extend the Petersburg Economic Development Council's lease on the community cold storage facility for another 5 years, while also removing language around the lease that prohibited food processing at that site. So this is a committee that's about 10 or 15 years ahead of us in their process. And then as a sea grain agent, I'm in contact with a lot of other agents around the community. In Dillingham, our agent there just recently received a grant to do the very first feasibility study pushed by the community to build a cold storage unit there. And some of the stuff that they used was our feasibility study here in Cordova. So even though we don't have it's on the ground yet or something built, we're quite far along in this process. Thank you very much for your time and your service to Cordova.
Thank you.
David Allison, 203 Whiskey Ridge. Thank you for your time this evening. Like to start off with Cordova Little League. I still support an MOU, I think, similar to the ski clubs, turn it over to them and let them manage and update, do the same thing they've been doing. Maintaining it and upgrading it and doing their thing, the city doesn't have to worry about it, at least they're not asking you for a bunch of money like the ski club does, and I believe the ball fields are used just as much or more than that ski hill is used each year, especially the last couple of years, but not that I'm against any of it. I think youth programs are great for the community, so yeah, support the Cordova Little League, and I think the city just ought to wash their hands of those fields if we can give them to the Cordova Little League and let them take care of them. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about tonight was, I'm showing my age here, but I've heard a lot of these stories, comments that were made tonight. Were all made previous years when a certain processor got a third of our North Harbor parking lot to build a cold storage facility that was gonna provide 15 year-round jobs to the city of Cordova, and everybody jumped all over that saying, yeah, that was a great idea. Has anybody seen one fish frozen in that now warehouse across the street from the north? Bill, I mean, that's what we heard was gonna happen. And it did. Sure, a facility that is subsidized or free is going to be utilized by people, but I think that economic development in these groups would maybe be better served approaching Silver Bay about buying their non-used freezer facility, and that facility might be just the perfect hit for them. Not that they're not gonna run in the future, but there's a good possibility that with the agglomeration of consolidation of processing plants that some of them are gonna go out of business. So Bay now owns how many plants in Prince William Sound and Seward in there. They own everything in Valdez now. They own one of the biggest ones in Cordova. They own the biggest one in Seward. Anyway, it's a scary situation. Cordova already has way over capacity for all of that stuff, and if people would just work a little bit together, but they can't do it for nothing, which is what we're basically asking for here, is for a facility that's built on grant funds, run on grant funds. We've got other grant things that we could compete with, so I'm just a little concerned with one more nonprofit in a town that's already 52% nonprofit, so that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Stephen Phillips with Leonard Gandel, coming before you as fire chief. First off, I'd like to apologize for the late quarter four report. We tried to streamline some numbers and it made it harder, so it's great. But just to talk through a couple points, I don't remember the good statistical quote, but you can always make everyone scared by numbers, and 150% increase in calls looks pretty bad, except for it's 3 calls, so not that bad. Right. One thing I would like to point out, the activity volume for the quarter, man, we were so close to 50% of our activity being training, just shy under it, but 49.4 is pretty good. And I, for one, as the fire chief, am super proud of the people behind me to fulfill those training hours. That means we have a really good team and a really good organization, and they're dedicated and willing to serve. So that's fantastic. Couple other things to point out on there: the 2 new members we recruited are still here, so that's always good. And then counting out that 8 members are now certified firefighter 1, as we completed that course mid-December. And then a couple things to note on challenges. It's labeled in in the report is in service. Engine 14 is actively in service and can be used. It is highly degraded right now with a failed ladder rack pump. And that is currently being worked on in the city shop, so hopefully we'll be able to get that pump. Which was not cheap, unfortunately, but that basically makes it so we have to secure the ladder rack before we drive it. So that just goes to speak volumes to the report and how we have an aging fleet that's needing some serious repair. And we're still actively looking to find grants and funding to help us get a new apparatus so we can retire that old beast. So, other than that, I would just echo again, if you have something you want to see, I have a lot of data throughout our emergency services. I've only picked the stuff that I think is prevalent and what I would think you guys want to see, but if you have suggestions, I welcome them. And always, please feel free to visit us at the fire hall on Thursday nights at 7:30. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sky Starretts. I live at 200 First Street. I am here to express my support of Prince William Sound Economic Development District's proposal to purchase Lot 2, Block 7 for a multi-purpose processing facility. My husband and I started a kelp farming business in 2020. And while there have been many challenges, our biggest hurdle has been access to processing infrastructure, equipment and a facility. So I think that this facility would really serve small businesses like ours in our ability to develop new products, value-added products, as well as have access to higher value domestic markets. It would really help us to be able to grow and scale and become a more sustainable business, and also to bolster the kelp mariculture industry in our region as a whole. But it's not just seaweed, as many people have spoken to. This would serve a diversity of users, including subsistence users, which hasn't been spoken to. So this is really for all local families. As Kate mentioned, I think this project would just bring the greatest amount of good when comparing the two options to our community. So really appreciate your consideration of this project. And lastly, I'm also in support of the MOU with Cordova Little League. My students wanted me to speak to that as well, and they deserve it. They deserve summer baseball. And we deserve community cold storage and processing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nellie and I live at 2B Orca Circle Drive. I'm a Cordova resident, a local small business owner, a direct marketer, and commercial fisherman. And I'm speaking today to strongly ask you to support the Prince William Sound Economic Development District and other partners associated to purchase Lot 2, Block 7 of the City Northville Development Park for use in creating a multi-purpose cold storage facility. Establishing this shared cold storage facility would benefit multiple local user groups, support Cordova's local seafood industry, small business development, and help create economic opportunities that would benefit from Prince William Sound's rich fisheries. Together, my partner Michael and I founded Drifters Fish 12 years ago as a direct market seafood business here in Cordova. We process and directly sell our commercial fishing catch of codfish salmon and Prince William Sound spot prawns and sablefish. Throughout every year of business, and increasingly more challenging as we expand our markets, cold storage in Cordova has been one of our biggest logistical challengers and our barrier to growth. Reliable local freezer and cold storage capacity is essential for providing Cordova's small and emerging businesses a realistic growth and continuing to run a business here in town. This facility would continue to build industry capacity and provide essential business resources for fishermen and harvesters, offering opportunities for a new wave of fishermen interested in creating direct market businesses. Michael and I strongly support this facility and could strengthen the lives of the economy of Cordova's fishing fleet, local small businesses, and our community. I'm excited to see the prospect of this will foster fishermen's industrious nature and support innovation in Cordova. This proposal is the next step to move this project from planning to establishment. I'm so excited for this opportunity that will benefit Cordovan industries and different user groups. Support this local economy and most importantly, support local Cordovans who call this place home. Thank you. Hello, my name is Siwan Gilbach. I live at 707 Railroad Avenue. And I'm speaking in support of the city selling lot 2, block 7 in the Northfield development area for a seafood and multi-business processing facility. I'm speaking to you as the owner of Simpson Bay Oyster Company. And I own other small businesses in Cordova. Cordova needs business development, and I don't think you're missing that as you've been looking at the budget of Cordova. So this proposed seafood processing facility is exactly the type of infrastructure that is needed for developing multiple different small businesses. As Cordova looks to the future, developing industries we know already, work we already have the resources and the skills for in our community is our best investment. I think it's really important to develop what you know. So as Cordova looks to the future, we need to be building infrastructure for that. The Prince William Sound Economic Development Group, I will mention, has also spoken to other facilities in town, such as Silver Bay, and they are not interested in leasing out or selling. So they have been approached. And they aren't interested in small operators utilizing their cold storage space at that point anyway. So there are examples of seafood and cottage food incentivizer centers working in other Alaska communities. And I'm really glad you heard that from other speakers because, you know, this is not a new concept and we are actually kind of behind in having this kind of facility for Cordova, small direct marketers. Council has supported this project in the past, but this idea has been around for a really long time. And we've been looking for the right space for it. And this is an amazing opportunity. So I'm really glad that we have this opportunity to make it happen. My oyster business will, of course, use this proposed space. And I have written a letter of support regarding that. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Other public comment, agenda items? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Appreciate it. It's nice not to talk to myself and fellow council members in here alone, so it's good to see you all. Thank you. Go on to chairpersons and representatives. It's like we have anyone that you're representing, okay. Okay, so we have a roll call for the consent calendar.
Yes, we do. There I am. Okay, on the consent calendar, Wendy Rainey. Sorry, you're first and you're muted. We're on the consent calendar. Can you hear us?
I'm trying to unmute. Yes.
Is it a yes vote?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Mike Mickelson,
Yes.
Aaron Hansen,
Yes.
Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Lee Collins,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Dave Zastro.
Yes.
The consent calendar is approved.
All right, we have the approval of the minutes in the consent calendar. There's no consideration for bids. Reports from officers. I know, sounds like Mayor Smith is enjoying some much needed time off, so. I will, once she gets back into the line of service, I'll chat with her. sure she'll have some things to say. City manager's report. What you got?
As usual, we'll start with Sam.
You're starting with Sam right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I should say it, man.
Yeah,
Sunday.
like probably gets confusing. But. I don't know.
We have good news.
I think so, we always have good news to say. We're just finishing up, I just got a text from Mike at the end of the day today that, we, got the parts needed to complete the plumbing, repair to the sumps, we were waiting on those. They were a little bit late and lost, Gold Streak didn't streak very fast. But we, it's taken a little bit longer than what we thought, because when we did, get into it, we couldn't actually, they couldn't level the sumps in the right area. So, the decision was made just to cut the plumbing and replace all the main plumbing. That way we could start new, and so getting those parts here took about a week, so we're finishing up that today. That part came in, they were able to level all the gravel that's in there and do work with what they had, so now they just have to connect the last piece. And then getting Peterson's back in to cover the aluminum on it after that, so we're gonna do a lot of pressure testing to that line that day, just to make sure that, cause once we cover it, it's covered. I don't think anyone wants to see it again, so yeah, I'm hopeful that it'll be soon. And as soon as that all happens, we're gonna put some water in it and then get a hold of Rhodosis to get on their schedule for them to come in.
Yes.
Yes. What has the new materials for plumbing done to the budget?
Well, we did get approved for budget amendment, so we are using those funds for that, so I haven't got a final bill for it yet. But it wasn't significant, those pieces, we just didn't have them in town for the morning. And our team was able to do all the work for that, so.
So as of right now, we're still operating under the amended budget, or the budget that was approved, the amendment to the budget for the normal. This was, yeah.
Yes, so
Thank you. Any other questions for Samantha? Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Or Susan thinks it's better to move towards it, they move it towards you.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, in the report is the Public Works, update on the wipes. We've had this issue before. I think this is the first time we've ever actually had to totally replace a pool, and as you can see, it costs 50 grand to do that. It's pretty important stuff. This is across the country. This isn't just Cordova. It's everywhere. Flushable just means it goes down the toilet. It does not mean that it works well in the sewer lines. It's and biodegradable doesn't mean it happens between your toilet and the lift station. So it's really important, all those things, to not be flushing them. It will continue to cost us into the future, and it can ruin your own sewer plumbing, like on your own property. So it is something to really think about. We've done a lot of, previously, we've done a lot of Facebook, we've done a lot of different things, so we're trying something new to see how it works. And we will push it out often on social media. And then.
Sam, one,
Yeah, another question.
would you think the, both AC and Nichols would be open to like putting a sign where they sell the wipes as well?
I don't know, but we could ask them.
A big one.
Yeah, they could put them in the big place.
Will Amazon do that for us too? Take it.
I thought you were gonna ask for a video.
But I would suggest that the door. Message, little hanger. That the graphics be a little bit different, or the font be different, or a little more attention getting. And I know you bolded some of the text, but I think you could it could be designed a little bit more effectively. If that's a suggestion.
Have Canva that thing.
You can, but I'll have to, Amanda, because I know she's all about it. And then, anything else?
No, I'm just emphasizing, because we actually have people here, I don't know if you all like sunk in or whatever, your collectible wipes. They're eventually gonna cost you and us and everyone, we're, it's gonna have to go on to the rate users for $50,000. Over $50,000 actually,
Yeah, and luckily we have a backup phone.
yes.
There's 2 pumps within the lift station, so even though that one failed, we didn't have sewer spewing on the ground.
No.
So it's really, I mean, now we're running out of risk with one.
Have one in order, I guess, this will probably come before us, or I guess they're an enterprise fund, so they operate.
No, it's like,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know. what-
So just thank you, this is great public service, and just wanna make sure that number set up. That we all can do our part.
So a couple other updates. I think it was Deb that had asked for the landfill loan status and how the things are moving along. So you see in your packet, there's a resolution. So when you do a clean water loan, the first thing you do is a questionnaire. And that, from that, they qualify you, give you your subsidy, and then you do an application. We take it to a vote before we fill out. I mean, once you get an okay, you're okay. But before we fill out the application, we take it to a vote. Because we have to do that as part of our code. So we got all that done, and now we're moving through the other paperwork, which is the application. This resolution that's in there, we have to get a attorney certification that says we can handle the debt. Cause there's rules about debt ceiling and those kinds of things. And then we have to also do a financial, sort of an audit where we have to give stuff to the state, so they feel comfortable that we can deal with the payments. So that's where we are right now, we're moving through that process. The long-term look is to talk with an engineer about the fencing. And kind of try and get a overall successful use of fences in other areas and people who have dealt with them. And to get an engineer's estimate. And to have that person on as what we call an inspector. So that we know that the contractor is doing what they're saying needs to be done, and they come out and they inspect. So we have a little ways before we get to that, but we are kind of, feeling it out to see what that looks like as an engineer or a company or a consultant. To get that part moving forward first. But first we have to go through all this other process, so we're doing it kind of simultaneously. So we can keep you updated on that, it'll take a bit to get through the paperwork with the state, cause we send in. They take it or they ask questions, it's a little bit of back. So we'll keep updates going on that as we move forward, and then, every spring, we do a bear season prep meeting with Fish and Wildlife, Fish and Game, the police department, Public Works, and that one is being done next Wednesday on the 8th. So we'll start pushing stuff out about putting your trash out before your day, and now, all those things that we've done in the past. And in the past, Charlotte has came and talked to council, and if we can ask her to do that again, it's pretty informative. So.
Bring up the public.
Yeah.
Or pending agenda, excuse me.
And then the other thing that happened at the last meeting, which I addressed a little bit in my report, but not as thorough as I should have, was the $104,000. Or did I never even really get that in? It's like I thought about it a lot, didn't actually write it down. So last time we talked about the $104,000, which was the soil disposal from there, and y'all asked where did that come from? So previously, we had done a, resolution. Oh, right here, so in, October of 25, we did a resolution to do the sole social contract. And we called out, in the contract, or in the memo, I'm sorry, that the 110, it was not to exceed 110, we didn't have a solid price at that point in time. But we, said that money would be coming through. This is ordinance 1231, which is the ordinance that we did to transfer the money, the $3 million to the general fund from the harbor and to start using that for cash flow. And now that we have a solid amount, we'll bring a resolution back that shows it. But we wanted to wait, so I'm glad you guys asked. But we wanted to wait until we knew what that amount would look like. So that's that.
Under the not to exceed amount.
Yeah, you did. And we just got rid of a huge like. Always did number then. So.
And this is, and I think we talked about last, this is done,
Done.
like this is
Done.
the end of,
Done.
or,
We don't have to talk about that.
and hopefully we are looking and doing everything we can and trainings and.
We got a double wall tank out there already, which is super, there's containments. And containments are great until they're full of water, which most of your containments are full of water, so then you open the drain. Close it, open it, close it. So we, at double wall containments, we're trying to replace all of our tanks with those, prioritizing the ones that are close to the water.
Okay.
And yes, some training about.
Yes,
And
it's all part of it.
Those things.
It's become a very expensive lesson to learn, but
Yeah.
grateful no one was hurt.
Yeah.
Just go with that. No one was hurt, opportunities to learn.
No, and I think, all in all, between the fire department and everything, we worked well with DEC. We had a good relationship with them in making sure that we got things done, and we had an amazing temporary crew that came in there and like they were raking the beach and cleaning it way above and beyond what was required by DEC. But I think it was handled pretty well by the water department and public works. Other than that, I don't have any other new things to add. Yeah.
We will. That's a conversation on forest receipts money. Where and what we're doing, is that gonna come forward at a later time?
Yeah.
I know you have ideas.
Yeah, second shift.
I know you have ideas, so. Good, that's a great idea. That's a
Yeah,
really
that
good
will
idea.
come forward.
Okay.
We wanted to kind of just check in with Gavin on, cause Gavin's here doing our audit prep. Just how that got handled.
Okay.
And stuff, so we got that confirmation this week and, so for the next meeting, we'll have the. I'm sorry. The financial thing. Tells us where we would like to put it.
Right, I mean, it's
For
a
the second.
resolution, is that correct? That generally that comes forward of allocation
An
of.
amendment?
Well, if. I'll let Cheryl talk to that.
Okay,
If there's
perfect,
some-
sounds
there's
great,
some
so we're planning on seeing it next meeting.
Yes,
Okay, great,
and that is fiscal year, so that is last year.
yes.
Source receipts,
Yeah.
it's still. They're still saying they're coming in, there's 26 coming in.
But it's not in our budget this year.
Correct.
And that is, so it's public record, I never wanna see it in our budget again, ever.
You have the power.
I have a
totally make
voice,
this a-
but everyone else has a voice too, we just heard from lots of wonderful people. But yes, that is my opinion on that. Okay, anything for the manager? Anything online? Okay. And again, great campaign, hopefully it hits home with the public works campaign we're doing for the unflushable wipes. City clerk,
You like the way I worded that on the
I
agenda?
did, I really liked it.
I like that strike free.
Mhm.
All I have is that, this was done on Canva. My housing and
Oh, so you can.
supply and seller.
Uh-oh.
Got myself in trouble. So the Housing Supply Accelerator Committee that the mayor has put together, I have 6 applications, so I was going to chat with her when she's back to see about when she wants to make those appointments.
Perfect.
Or wait for more, but, we're still accepting applications if anybody's interested in the Cordova Housing Supply Accelerator Committee.
Yes,
That is all I'm gonna report on now, because we'll chat about our full April month long calendar.
yes, it is. And just for public, as Susan's referencing this committee, so this is really a committee we're trying to stand up to. Explore all things housing, so if it's on the flyers around, it's great, it's wonderful.
The
And
resolution is behind the
Yeah.
flyer in the packet.
And so just since we have people in the audience and I get to talk to you. Just if you think you or someone you know might be a good fit for this committee or passionate about it. Talk to Susan or Colette, I guess could help too.
Yep.
Anyone at the city could point you in the right direction, so. Yeah. Any questions for the clerk? Anything online? It's staff report again, thank you to Chief Phillips and speaking to that, great work our volunteers do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, very impressive. Correspondence, any comments on correspondence here? Yeah. Now, the time we've all been waiting for, I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty. All right, ordinances and resolutions. We're gonna start off with ordinance 1238. We had the first reading last meeting. We had the public comment period before this meeting. Looking for a motion.
Motion to adopt ordinance 1238, ordinance of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase and sale agreement with the Native Village B Act for lots 19-25, block 6, original town site, second reading.
There's a second.
I'll second.
All right, Councilmember Mickelson.
I think this is pretty cut and dry, and we've been over this multiple times. No, I think all that's left is to vote on it.
Councilmember Hanson.
I'll agree with what was said. Spent a lot of time, read a lot more slides.
Yes, we have. Right. We'll go to Councilmember Adams.
No, I think we've already discussed it.
Okay, perfect. Just going around. If you want to say something, Bill. Councilmember Lee, anything you'd like? Hopefully you had a nice just weekend.
Lots of reading.
Lots
Yes.
of reading and catching.
I am excited for it. I like this kind of this ordinance, and that I like the models of the building, and I think this is a great thing for the city.
Anything online? For ordinance 1238.
Shaking their head no.
Okay, thank you. And I guess as for myself, yes, this will be a great addition to our community as I've traveled around Southeast. Many of the communities have very noticeable cultural centers, and it's just a beautiful addition and really an important addition to our community. So look forward to this being done, hopefully well within 15 years, but you know. good things are worth waiting for, and this is no small project either. I do appreciate really the location and proximity to our school. That will be, so it's really great opportunity for the students. Okay, so I think at this point, we're ready for. Roll call.
Roll
Yeah.
call vote on second readings,
Yeah.
ordinances, we do a roll call.
Yeah.
Aaron Hanson,
Yes.
Deborah Adams.
Yes.
Dave Zastro,
Yes.
Mike Mickelson,
Yes.
Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Lee Collins.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. There's no unfinished business. We'll now go into new and miscellaneous business, so. This is. the Land disposal review of proposals for lot 2, block 7, Northville Development Park. And yes, at this point, go ahead. Thank you. Something I'm really. Yeah. Yes, do we have a motion for this?
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve the proposal from Prince William Sound Economic Development District to purchase lot 2, block 7 of the Northville Development Park.
Second.
Councilmember Adams.
I spent a lot of time looking at both of them. There's a lot of material to read, and both proposals are strong. And I appreciate planning and zoning's reviewing and their rating. And their recommendation, although I was a little bit confused, they rated Prince William Sound higher, but yet recommended the Kelly proposal, and I know that there's a lot of unknowns with this proposal. But I think there's more opportunity for our community, and that's why I support it, and I see lots of good things that can come out of it. The Kellys have a wonderful, it's not to discount them at all, they have a wonderful business model. But I also think at this point, we need to look at some diversity in our community.
Thank you. And was it Councilmember Sastro?
I agree with everything Councilmember Adams just said. And furthermore, as we've heard from participants in the room and through the reading, and this is a niche that doesn't have a facility to fill the needs. And certainly small businesses that are on a tight budget need a little lift to continue to do what they're doing. And all these businesses that will take advantage of this are already existing. And something like this would provide an opportunity for them to continue doing what they're doing and maybe even grow a bit. Whereas if they didn't, their route is much harder. So this just provides a niche that doesn't exist right now. So we'll be in support of it.
Just gonna go around. Councilmember Rainey, any comments and preference on this?
Yeah, this was a hard one. I've struggled going back and forth on this. I've struggled with a couple things. I've been hearing about this need for this facility for, over 30 years in this community, and I know it's been going on long before that. And I really want to see a facility like this happen. I think it's great, it's needed, it's important, but I have a lot of questions regarding this proposal. I have some, misgivings because they don't have an anchor tenant, and their financial feasibility study did say that none of these facilities anywhere else, nothing operates economically feasibly without an anchor tenant. So the fact that they don't have one right now kind of worries me a little. There wasn't anything regarding disposal of waste from the use of this facility. I have a lot of questions, but then you have to bring it back to how deep can you dive with questions on this proposal? And, our job is to take a look at the two proposals that come in and not try to predict the future on successful implementation. I would hope to, if this passes, get together with the Economic Development Council and be able to discuss, some of the questions I have regarding permitting, being a person who has done a lot of work to get something similar put together. I feel that, you know, that some more thought in their proposal needs to be put into the running and managing of this facility as it moves forward. But, again, the Kellys are kind of a sure deal. They have storage down there. It would add on to that. So this was a really difficult call for me on this one, and I'm still contemplating it.
Thank you. Councilmember Hanson.
One of my questions is, if I'm reading this correctly, it is a 5-year substantial completion.
Well. Maybe that's good, that's.
For which proposal?
For the economic development.
I believe that's what they had said in here. I can double check that.
Again, I guess I'll just clarify a little bit, these terms are negotiable. Yeah, just want to make sure. This person doesn't.
There's also a phased approach too, because they were gonna start with.
It was in like a 5-year block, but yeah, phase
Yeah.
1 was immediate. My input on this is, I think what it has in store for the community, what is stated is needed. We are a fishing community, we do rely on supporting the fishermen and bringing in outside dollars for the brown fish and direct marketing. I think it is a big support. I also have concerns with where this is gonna go and how. I mean, one of the problems with Cordova is our power is extremely expensive. So costs are very high. Big seafood places aren't investing in, I won't say they're not investing in Cordova, but when you have a plant in Seward and you have a plant in Valdez, it's easier to not come all the way into Cordova. As a longtime longliner, there wasn't big, it wasn't nice. Fuel's more expensive, electricity's more expensive, groceries are more expensive. It's kind of a hard draw, but you need a facility based in Cordova. Not a big processor, you need a fish buyer here and people that are here that want to promote Cordova. Because those outside entities aren't essentially gonna do that. And you have to have the fisherman base in Cordova. I would feel comfortable with a short-term substantial completion with this project. To see if it got to where it's going, and in the event that they didn't get the funding, it goes back on the table and back into our hands. I don't know if it's there yet. So leave it at that.
Member Nicholson.
I also want to reference in my comments that I don't think that this is necessarily just a clear-cut decision. I've certainly been on nonprofit boards over the past few years that have been involved in this process from a variety of different agencies and organizations. I do agree. I think there are some more process questions and longevity questions that need to be answered, but to reference one of the other councilman's comments, that our scope of evaluating this only goes so far. And so, I think I want to reference, there's one other choice, which is to take no action on this, and I'm not necessarily advocating that, but I certainly appreciate that we've had a lot of people come up here today and speak in support of this, and I agree that, we do need the kind of processing capacity that this proposal would create for our community. I think the substantial completion piece of this is a really important part of the dialogue, and when we're making our decision on this, that should be one of our key tenets that we discuss. So I guess maybe, since not everyone has decided, I think we need to hash out some of these details just a little bit more, if that's okay.
So,
What do you think?
well, can I make a comment first?
Yes.
And then there might be, because there is a piece to that. Sounds like there's been opportunities for cold storage in the past. Gone routes. I don't know all the history about it. Sounds like lots of you do know the history beyond it, but bottom line is we don't have it. And from our standpoint, from a city, have there been any lessons learned from that? We've had these promises that we're gonna do, where this is going to happen. What can we learn? Are there any concerns as far as completion goes? As far as what are we gonna put in this contract to ensure that we're not left with something that we actually don't want, that the community doesn't want? And think on that, but the other piece to this is this has some big support in our community. This is not saying that it's just a few direct marketers, and not that, that a few direct marketers makes up a community, makes up a co-op, which is great and beautiful, but we have NVE behind us, we have CDFU behind us. Those are big partners in working with this and the development, economic development also, organization. So as far as lessons learned for, what can we do? What can we put into this to ensure that this gets where we want it? Where we want is cold storage, so we get as the community what we want from this property, if that's the direction we go.
When you negotiate the contract, you can put anything you want
Correct.
into it. So those are if we begin the negotiations, that's when we have those conversations.
And when we are talking about purchase here, I know we had a meeting on this, the purchase is purchase to lease. I mean, we can go in those negotiations, that can be outlined then.
Yep.
And-
So when you put the parameters around the RFP, you said it could be a lease or a lease with option to purchase, so the purchase option is lease with option to purchase, there's not an outright sell
Perfect,
of the property.
that's what I make sure. I thought we had clarified that and the other RFP process. So if there is, I guess, the consensus of calendar or of council for this agenda item, you want more information, then we would vote it down. Is that the action on that essentially, or?
I'm not understanding what you're asking, because the whole point of negotiating is you figure out what the terms are that you want. And if you can't get to that point, then you don't come to an agreement. So I guess I'm not clear.
And I don't know that council knows the terms that we want. It sounds like there's more information that council wants to know what those terms are, to give you the direction to go forward in either way.
So are you saying you're gonna move, I'm not understanding, like, you wanting to refer it back to staff, I don't understand where you're going. I guess is what I'm trying to get to, like,
Vice
I
Mayor?
think. Go ahead.
Yes. Go ahead,
I think we have a proposal on the table right now. We moved and seconded to have Prince William Sound Economic Development District be the entity that has the opportunity to purchase this piece of land. I mean, are you proposing that we change what's on table right now?
that is what I'm asking of council. I'm not necessarily, but yeah, and that's why I'm saying, do we vote no or do we amend? Like, if there's other council members that want to do something different than what is on the table.
I would say if somebody was wanting to choose the other one, they would vote to amend the motion on the floor to pick the Kelly proposal instead.
And if there's, it sounds like some council members would like more information. I don't know how to move forward with that, but essentially this would have to be voted down. Right? I
I'm
don't,
not sure, I think if you're saying council just wants to be involved in helping with the negotiation, often after you pick a proposal, then the manager might come at the next meeting in an executive session to ask you guys for negotiation tactics, kind of thing,
that's the
right?
clarification.
Do you agree?
yes.
Yes.
The negotiation part.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
my thoughts are that we decide between the two entities tonight. And we have further discussion and negotiations with Prince William Sound Economic Development Council. And this,
Through the manager. She'll
Yes.
come to you,
Correct,
you guys
yeah.
give parameters, then they go back and do negotiating, maybe that she comes back to you again. We've done this.
Yes, yeah, but the ordinance we just passed, we did it
Correct.
several times,
Yes.
so. Okay, are we ready for a vote, or is there an amendment, or, I'm ready for a vote, unless someone has something else to say. Okay, and this should be, I know it says voice vote, but it should be.
I'll do a roll call, there's
please.
two on the phone and yes, let's do a roll call on the motion, which is to accept the proposal from Prince William Sound Economic Development District.
Yes.
Lee Collins is conflicted. Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
yes,
Dave Zastro,
Yes.
Mike Mickelson,
Yes.
Aaron Hansen,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey.
No.
No. Motion carries 5-1. Is that right? Yeah. Count one, 5-1. Okay. That's empty. No. Can we welcome Lee back to the table?
Please, council member. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your patience and all that as we. Great, as we go through two and vote on two of good proposal, for great proposals, so we'll move forward negotiations. We go to agenda item number 14, this is the land disposal review of proposal for a portion of lots 11, 12, 13, and 14, block 32, original town site. Is there a motion for this agenda item?
Page 256.
That's 256 acres. Thank you for doing your job. And doing it well. But yeah, we're just gonna have fun. Waiting on a motion.
Who's coughing? One of you got it.
Agenda item 15.
Motion to approve council action on disposal and method of disposal for lots 11-14, block 32, original town site.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Well, sorry, but we kind of needed to be naming the proposer. There's only one, but.
Yes,
It's
thank you.
at the bottom of page 256 is the suggested motion, so you insert their name.
I move to approve the proposal from David Paddock and David Evans.
Yep.
To purchase a portion of lots 11, 12, 13, 14, block 32 with consent.
Thank you. And a second, is there one?
I'll second.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Mickelson.
I put the motion on the table. I have a few concerns about this, just in terms of where this is. And what happens when we have a big snow year and where snow goes in this area, how big the snow berm is, and I won't say that I certainly support housing here. I want to make sure in this process, if we decide to approve this, that we're very clear on kind of the drainage and the low area that's there. And if that is gonna actually work as intended, because I know we haven't had much snow for years, but you know, the big years, it just all accumulates in this area, so I just want that to be on the record.
And for Sam through Amanda, is that something to be probably hashed out in negotiation that we move forward? Okay, that's. Councilmember Hanson.
Yeah, so I support new development and seems to be able and will.
Okay. I'll go down to Councilmember Adams, anything to add?
There's a question, to direct to Amanda, then, how do we handle?
We'll do a resurvey and then we'll replat that area before we sell it.
Okay, so it won't extend out into the road?
Yeah, they won't own part of the road, well, we wouldn't sell, the public road, so we would take that right of way out, and before they purchase the properties.
Thank you.
Councilmember Rainey. Or questions?
No, I'm in favor of their proposal of housing. It's certainly, something I'd like to see happen. Not the best location, but, if they're willing to work with it, I support it.
Some Councilmember Collins.
I guess the only thing to add was that, yeah, I support this. From seeing the other projects from this builder, definitely shows that he's, I think skilled and that, is able to work quickly, which I think important in our short weather windows, which help get houses built.
Right, Councilmember Zastra.
yeah, I agree with Councilmember Collins. This builder seems to be someone who could get it done, and it's the right kind of buildings, single family homes, 3-bed, 2-baths, modest, affordable. It's the kind of thing that we want to see happen in Cordova.
You see affordable thrown out there quite a bit, but I'm glad at, and one of the references it was Cordova affordable.
I noticed that as well.
There is a Cordova affordability thing. That's true.
Yeah, grateful, I mean, this is probably an example of, I'm sure if he's willing to build it, they will come and there is a need, so. Grateful for that, answer the question that I had on the resurvey, so at time, I'm guessing the price for that will be negotiated or dealt before, or I don't know who the earnest is that, or ownership of that survey, is it city, is it
So we
Very glad.
complete it as part of this, but when we go to sell the property, then they'll take the cost on.
Okay, perfect. Kind of perfect, I know, I'd be. My own issues with past surveys of our community, so. No, I think that's great, I did have a question about drainage, but we can, obviously, that's important to.
There's a storm drain on that property, and it's been addressed in planning and zoning meeting, and Public Works is aware of it, so.
All right, I think. Oh, do we need a voice?
I'll do a roll call.
Okay, perfect.
So on the motion, is everybody aware of the motion? Say it. We're good. Dave Zastro,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Lee Collins,
Yes.
Aaron Hansen,
Yes.
Mike Mickelson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving right along. Agenda item 15. This is the item for Cordova Little League CCL, waiving the fiscal year 26 field and snack shack fees.
Vice Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Rainey.
I move to waive the field and snack shack fees for the 2026 Cordova Little League season.
And a second.
Second.
Councilmember Rainey.
Yeah, we've spoke to this. I look forward to seeing the city and Cordova Little League work together to figure a solution that's best for both organizations. Again, I've said before, cash on the table doesn't fix everything. I think there's a way to put together a working MOU that helps both the city Parks and Rec Department with their needs, and Cordova Little League steps up and takes advantage of being in charge of those fields and doing what they need to do to have use of them.
Thank you. Councilmember Adams.
I agree with, Councilman Rainey's comments. And don't have a whole lot more to add, except that I see Little League as a valuable activity for this community, in the summer, and the number of people and children who participate, makes a difference in this community, and, like to support it as best we can and come to some kind of agreement on how we move forward in the future.
Thank you. Go with Councilmember Collins.
Yeah, I don't really have any comments, but I support this.
Okay. Councilmember McPherson.
I definitely support this. I would like to make sure that we get this sort of dealt with in a timeline after the Little League season is over, so that we can be totally clear on what's happening next year. There's no surprises for anybody, and you know, I would agree with everyone's statement so far that promoting volunteer-led opportunities for kids in this community is one of the greatest services we can provide.
Thank you. Councilmember Zastro.
Yeah, I concur with my other council members so far. I do struggle with the fact that this issue became urgent right as the Little League season was beginning, creating an urgency for us as council in the city to have to make a change in how fees are assessed for Parks and Rec facilities. We have a meeting already planned for the 9th to discuss this in a work session where everybody can be involved and talk about solutions. I really want to see that still move forward on the 9th. And I understand the city's concerns on this, setting a precedence that that anybody with a grievance and a reason can find reason to not have to pay to support our Parks and Rec. And certainly, you know, children's sports, the pool, all these things are incredibly necessary in our community. But again, they cost money. And so I guess what I would like to see in any kind of MOU is some meaningful support towards Parks and Rec when it comes to the ball field, snack shack and such, that may also include some level of fees as well. Because there's still a variety of things that a volunteer corps can do, but there's many things that really only the city employees can do. And so that costs money. So yeah, I think that needs to be made clear across the board for all of our Parks and Rec facilities. No matter who comes forward to provide in-kind support, there's still a cost to the city.
That's for Councilmember Hanson.
I'm in strong support for it. I understand there's costs associated, costs that are accrued, and we do have to pay for it. But there is a large amount of support that is given in kind. And that does save the city money. If you have volunteers putting time and effort into these organizations, and like what has been said about the field. I think I've said it before, we need to work together, volunteers and the city of Cordova, to make these things available for our community. We need to support the youth and continue to provide services that, you know, allow Cordova to, the youth and families to take part in things that, you know, why we live here, because we have these things. So I do think that there needs to be MOUs set in place, and I do think that there are fees that should be established. But I've always stated that we should try and recoup costs on the children and setting donations for kids to sponsor children or a team, and try and find support in that manner for the city to acquire the funds needed. That's why
But for me, I look forward to our work session, I'll say that. I actually really have a lot of agreement with Councilmember Astro. This is very much a Band-Aid approach to this whole situation that came upon us. So I look forward to that, forward to the partnership with the Little League and seeing what MOU looks like, and seeing what we can come together on and what actual fees look like. And there are a lot of unique things. We get to live in Cordova. This is, again, all of us, it's all choice. Cordova's a choice. If you haven't figured that out, no one actually has to live here. We all get to choose to live here, and it's a wonderful place. There are, it's not uncommon in other places though, to use a facility, you pay a fee. And that's kind of how the rest of the world operates. We can go on either side of that, you know, that's why we get to live here, because it's not like the rest of the world, but at some point, all the things still cost money, so. Just keep that in mind, please, everyone, but Little League is great, they do great things for our community, do great things and opportunities for our youth, so. Thank you for that. Yes, for this, I do
Sure, I'll do a roll.
roll call.
Roll call. We call it waiving the field
Yeah.
and snack shack fees for Cordova Little League for FY 26. Wendy Rain,
Yes.
Aaron Hanson,
yes.
Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Deborah Adams.
Yes.
Lee Collins,
Yes.
Mike Mickelson,
Yes.
Dave Zastro.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-2.
Alright, we'll move right along to agenda item 16. This is the council election of a vice mayor. Done this a couple different ways.
Yes, usually take nominations from the floor. If anybody wants to nominate anyone, occasionally wind up with repeating nominations, and we can vote out loud, or we can vote by secret ballot if you choose.
What are you willing to do again, Casey?
I am willing.
Just make the nomination, Mike.
I would like to nominate Casey. Oh, there.
Oh, sorry.
I move council for Casey again to serve as vice mayor until the first meeting after the meeting of terms of those elected in 2027 regular city election.
Second.
I guess you can see if anybody wants to nominate anybody else.
Yes, please, if there's someone else you want to nominate.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
I would, I'm not sure of the exact phrasing, but I would like to nominate for Vice Mayor, Councilmember Wendy Rainey.
Yeah. That requires second to get it out to, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Do we
Yeah.
need to, at this point, go to a ballot? I know we've done this in the past, where is there anyone else who would like to nominate someone else? So we know who we're voting on.
Of course, I didn't bring little pieces of paper. Can we just vote out loud? Or how does everybody feel? Do they feel like they want
I
to do it?
prefer to.
They want to do it quiet?
I'm gonna use the little sticky pen.
Sure.
Or,
Oh, well, I have to.
For what?
I have lots.
When you're ready.
And it's very annoying because they're like ripping them. It's cheap stuff. Oh, no, look at that.
Secrets to new friends.
And you need the
Right,
point, my
secret stuff.
goodness.
Consistent.
Does everybody else have a pen?
and I think everyone here does, and I don't, would you
And
like?
you don't get to abstain, no.
No, would you like on? You-
Text.
I was gonna
You
say,
guys
would you
can
like
text
them
me.
to check?
Oh, no, yeah, text me. Oh,
I don't want
I almost did it. Okay, so
You want
Wendy
to-
and Dave, will you please text me?
Oh, yes, so text your cell phone.
Yes, please text myself. Thank
Okay.
you.
Here,
Short at me or half.
I only get to know that they're that small.
Oh, it's missing.
Were you able to?
the piece of part. Would be
Say the
fiscally
video.
responsible, they went with this.
We're just putting some money out.
Both sides, and not the 3M adhesive.
You get. You get.
Next year
So we
we'll
have-
do it third.
Yeah, the big paper cutter back there. I'd recommend against that. It might seem like a good idea.
It's Casey Kinsman, 4-3,
Yeah.
so.
Congratulations, Ken.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That wasn't in the least awkward at all.
You guys. That's how it's gotta go, I guess. 4-3, so Casey will be vice mayor for another year.
Thank you.
Well done.
Honored to serve. We're gonna move right along to pending agenda.
Okay. So I think you're all already aware of the dates. They're on the April calendar in here, but a reminder, Board of Adjustment will be April 7th. Just what, a week from today? Yeah. Is it on, but it's,
And
I thought it was a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Yeah, a week from today would be date. Tuesday, April 7th, Holly, city attorney, will be here. She is representing the board. She will assist through the whole process. We then have a 6 p.m. work session on Thursday, the 9th. For Parks and Rec fee schedule. And, regular meeting on the 15th. Without a public hearing, so that will be 7 p.m. and then Board of Equalization on April 20th, that's at 7 p.m. And I will text you all reminders on this. Is everybody getting their email and is pretty close attention to their email? Is it hard to log on to your email or?
Sometimes it is.
Is it hard sometimes?
The
And-
hardest thing is getting it established with our IT.
But then once you got on, you're good to go.
Sense.
Seems like
Your email's
Kathy-
still delete on mine.
You still have a.
I know where to find them there, the delete file, or IT can't figure it out.
Just because like, Councilmember Zastro, you asked me to send the Zoom to your personal, was there a reason for that? Just,
Just
Are you
easier.
not-
I'm getting them, but it's just easier access from where I am right now.
okay, got it. I just wanted to make sure you were still getting city emails, cause a
Yes.
lot of times. It's been a couple of weeks between meetings or whatever, I'm doing a lot of chatting with you guys and it would be nice to know if you're all reading them.
If we're out there.
But don't reply.
Just let us
Don't
know.
reply all.
Yes, don't reply all. Okay.
Apple, don't reply now.
No.
I didn't say that. I didn't say hello. If you see that, we added how the Cordova Trails Committee has terms now, so I added that to the little part of pending agenda. And they just sent me their minutes, well, they sent them timely enough, but I forgot to look at them timely enough, so I can fill in those other ones because they've. Anyway, I'm the only one who cares about that.
Yay, trails.
Yes, Dave does, thank you. Except he was so kind as to make himself one of the first ones off Trails Committee, I saw that. You're not escaping your responsibilities, Mr. Retired Man.
I do want to make sure that we're talking with Charlotte for May, now that we're in April for next month. Usually that's the first May meeting.
I did write it down, so you
Okay.
will talk to her and see if she wants to be a guest speaker.
Sometimes she does. Dear Helen, so yeah, we'll see when she's available.
Absolutely. Any other items for pending agenda, please?
I don't have anything else.
There is a lot going on this month, so.
Next week.
It's, yeah. And throughout the month. Yeah. There's nothing else on that, we'll move forward then. For audience participation, anything you would like to share? Uh-oh.
I vote we go.
All right, there we go. Moving along. Thank you. Just gotta make eye contact.
Rick Wallen, 607 Burke Street. I just wanna thank everybody's time for tonight. And I know it's a lot of work. I'm a volunteer for many different boards, commissions, and kids sports are very heavily active in my family right now. Being in the league, I appreciate your guys's time with that. And then I just also wanted to throw out there, I'm board president for the Cordova Pounders, coach and all around get her done kind of guy. We have 58 registered wrestlers in the Cordova Pounders Club this year, so we're growing. So we appreciate it.
That's a great rebound from where we've come from
Awesome.
not too long ago, thank you. Another audience participation.
Wendy has.
Oh, yes.
I think she's clapping.
Oh, she's
Oh,
clapping. I keep
okay.
saying that every time.
Too small or from.
Okay, we'll keep moving right along then. We'll go with council comments. Hey. Councilmember Adams.
Just a couple of things. One, I appreciated all the audience participation at the beginning of the meeting and to hear from people and what's needed in our community. And I'm thankful to be a part of this process. Even though there are some difficult decisions to be made, and I read both of those proposals numerous times, trying to make a decision and weigh the merits of both of them, and they were lengthy. So I didn't come by it lightly. So I appreciate people sharing additional information at the meeting. So thank you, and thank you staff for 200 and plus whatever it was pages.
Thank you. Council member Collins. God, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it's the first council meeting for me being in this chair, and I'm looking forward to continuing to be part of these processes and appreciate very thorough packet we had to go through. Maybe there'd be less pages in the future. But yeah, excited to be part of the process, part of this council. Think through a lot of important decisions. I also appreciated all the audience participation.
Thank you. And welcome. Glad nearly 300 pages didn't scare you off. So like I said, I think this is the biggest packet I've ever seen. And however many years. Councilmember Zastro.
Yeah, as you say, Vice Mayor, I think our clerk said it was a monster package. It definitely was. That thing was huge. And that it's not just a number of pages. There's a ton of information in there, how it's organized. It's all pertinent. That's a huge amount of work on staff. So I really appreciate that. I also appreciate this council, great people to work with. And also welcome to Councilmember Collins. It's great to have you on board. And thank you to everybody there in the room that provided comments. It means a lot to hear comments both here in council, on the street, hearing what people think and feel about what's going on. I am looking forward to the Prince William Sound Economic Development District and partners developing this communal facility. I'm just a little concerned as far as some of the discussion about potentially penalizing them with a completion number of years. They rated out just as well as the other proponent, and they have seems to me a solid plan in place. It's just different. It's something we've never done before. It's unusual, it's different, and I think it makes it a little bit scary. But I'd rather make it a little easier on them rather than harder on them to accomplish what they're setting out to do. So I'm hopeful during negotiations that we don't create any impediment for them to be successful. I'm also looking forward very much to the 9th of April and having a great open discussion with everybody involved with the Little League and how we're going to move forward with making sure we keep those amazing programs going and also keep our facilities up and running. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to Councilmember Nicholson.
Well, I'd like to thank staff for their continued diligence as usual, and would echo all other councilmen's comments for the most part. I guess, you know, I definitely think this lot disposal here in the Northville is certainly something that I didn't take lightly either, and I certainly have more questions, but I do look forward to kind of working through some of these issues, and I think we can get to the result that we're all hoping that we get to with that. On that subject, I was at the Board of Fisheries meeting in Anchorage for the majority of the week when we had our last city council meeting, and those of us in the commercial fishing sector were kind of joking that, you know, none of us want to be at these meetings. And when we look at the perspective of the city, we already have a full plate. But I spoke on behalf of the city at the meetings, and I can tell you that the Board of Fisheries situation has a huge impact on our city. And luckily things went our way this time, but at our upcoming regional meeting here, unfortunately, we are gonna have to dedicate a little bit of time to, what our strategy is, because there are going to be proposals that will be seeking to take away our major source of revenue here. And, as frustrating as it is to have to deal with some of these same proposals over and over again, it is something we're gonna have to look at. So, anyway, to end on a positive note, I am very happy to hear that the pool is looking a little better. I can't tell you how many people are coming up to me asking about that, when it's gonna be going better. And, it's nice to hear some good news on that, and I'm happy to hear that the Little League is going to be able to function this year and providing these opportunities for our community, especially our kids, is a great thing. Thank you.
You. Go to Councilmember Rainey.
Yeah, I hate not being at the table, don't like calling in, but appreciate the opportunity to do so. Thank you to staff. This packet rivals some extremely large school board packets that I put together in the past, and I understand the pain involved in getting all that information together. So thank you very much. Spent most of my weekend debating those two proposals, and not to say that I don't want that facility with my no vote. I just look forward to having some more discussions about it. I think it is definitely something this community needs to see. I'm just not sold on that location. So I look forward to talking about that, and I'm excited about the upcoming work session and getting some answers together for community youth participation and Parks and Rec, so that we can all be puppies and cotton candy in one big happy family.
Thank you, Councilmember Rainey, Councilmember Henson.
Oh, wait, yeah, and welcome, Lee. Glad to see you at the table.
Councilmember Henson.
Thank you, staff. For the packet and all the time, you guys put in everything to keep the city run, all staff. It's appreciated on the delivery, the packet, the information that, we asked. As far as the two proposals, thank you both for the work that you put in. Everybody's pretty much said, it was a tremendous amount of effort put in and a lot of information. And a lot of thought and back and forth. Thanks for council, everybody's input and everybody that's here. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you. I'm really grateful. I think I've alluded to it all night, that we had people in the audience. So thank you. Thanks for everyone who stuck it all the way through this far. Even though maybe your agenda item was already discussed. So thank you for being here with your community. We're doing the best we can to represent it, but your voice matters, and hopefully that has been seen and heard. I think there is an opportunity, just a reminder that it's not the city, it's not the citizens of Cordova versus the city of Cordova. We're all neighbors. That's what's great about this town. So great about this town. We have differing opinions, and we can have different ideas, different ideologies, whatever it might be. You have to just call Cordova home again. Cordova's choice. We get to live here, and I'm grateful to live here. Grateful to raise my family here. I'm grateful that I still get questions about the pool, because it means it's still relevant. That's what I always fear, is that it's like, it's been gone for so long. No one ever thinks it's coming back. So I'm grateful for the questions on it. And thank you, Samantha, for all your work on that. Staff, this was a great packet, lots of information that, really, if we look at how big this packet was and the amount of items we had on here, a big packet, thorough work from city just moves these meetings along. So thank you, staff, for that. Just again, reviewing what our volunteers at the fire department, EMS do. Thank you. Thank you for the hours you put in, and really the sacrifice you do. barbecue, be at wherever you might be asleep, be any of those things, the pager goes off, you're up and at it. I don't do that. I have done that. I have been there, but I don't do that right now. I don't really want to either. So I'm really, really grateful for all the volunteers who do that. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. And keeping our community safe, because we live in a safe community and it takes all those volunteers to help make that happen. The two final things I'll say, I guess, thank you for your vote of confidence and voting me in as vice mayor. I appreciate that. Not really a question mark at the end, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And the final thing is, just remember, so public record, in Cordova, it doesn't matter what your flushable wipes say, they're not flushable in Cordova. It just doesn't work, so $50,000, over $50,000 in damage due to flushable wipes, because they're not flushable, so that's all I have. Anything else? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Just say no objection. With no objection.
With no, gotcha, with no objection, we will adjourn.
Thank you. And can you do a public service commercial? Maybe you should do the video, if you're so good about it. Do it,
Wise.
do it,
Maybe
put it on Facebook.
if you wanna have a free little, watch your wives.
One is not the same on Fourth Thursday. Parks and
Dude, I
Rec,
need to do it like-
general fund, and flushable wipes are.
I would advertise for like, I would do like the day advertisement if we had like metered water, and I'd be like, hey, you're gonna pay for metered water and.
I thought you were gonna say tell AC to take them off the shelf.
No.
But that's a good
Well,
idea.
I think that's good, even if people buy them off Amazon, they're gonna